You know that feeling when you look at your kids and you realize that they're not little anymore? And then you think about this summer and you think, it has to be perfect. I have to make all the memories, go to the outings, take out the picnics because I don't have many summers left, or maybe any summers left before my kids start leaving. I've been there too. And then what I noticed is that my brain starts thinking about all the things I should do. I need to do the picnics and I need to make sure I control the screen time so that we don't lose the summer. And yet when it comes right down to it, it's so easy for it to still happen. In fact, my kids just had a week off from school and I had all of these great plans. I thought I'm going to take them to this nature path and we're going to walk and I'm going to show them these things. And all of the plans I had were to make those memories with them while I still had time. And then the week came and it went. And by the end of the week, the only thing I had to show for it was a bunch of guilt about not doing what I knew needed to be done while I still could. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what I learned from that experience and where that actually comes from. Why do we have the best laid plans and then nothing happens? As I move forward into summer, I wanted to make sure I share this with you because if you're like me, you want to make sure you have those memories with your kids this summer without summer slipping by. So what I recognized is that with my kids being home, what came up for me is all of that mom guilt of, oh my goodness, you should have done it. You let the week slip by and it didn't even happen. But here's what I want you to know. I want to share with you what I learned from that experience, what the brain science says about it, and most importantly, the path forward so that we can all make sure that this summer actually happens and that those memories actually are made. The first thing to recognize is why this happens in the first place. Right now, maybe your kids are in school like mine. And if that is the case, there is this sense of structure that always exists. So yeah, there's a lot of stress that happens. You wake your kids up in the morning and you have to take care of everything. Did you get your homework? Is your lunch made? Hey, you wore that shirt for the last 3 days. Come on. And you realize, oh my goodness, I should have reminded him to do his laundry and I didn't. And before 8 a.m., the should factory is already in full-fledged throttle in your brain, telling you all the reasons you fall short. But you get your kids to school mostly on time, and then you have a little break where you can get things done, work if you need to, clean up the house, do whatever you've got to get done. Then the kids come home, there's the mad rush again. We got to get you to baseball, you got to go to dance. Do you have homework? And wait, when's that project due? There's so much going on that you feel like you need 3 secretaries just to keep it straight. But luckily you get through that and eventually they go to bed at night, right? And so you have a little bit of time to catch your bearings, to get grounded, and to charge back up. But enter summer vacation, none of that charging. It's 24/7. Mom, can I do this? Mom, can I go to my friend's house? Mom, can you give me a ride? Mom, I need you to buy this. Mom, is it all right if you're always on call? Someone always needs a piece of you. And on top of it all, you end up feeling guilty if you're doing dishes while your kid's trying to talk to you because heaven forbid you should not be present. And so there again, the should factory keeps going. I should have this figured out. I should be more present. I should do something about them being on their screen so much. Here's what I want you to hear though. The reason things don't happen in the summer is not what you think it is. It's not the screen time. It's not that they always have so many things going on. It's not even that they're bored and arguing with each other. The real reason it doesn't happen is because of what is happening in your brain and in your nervous system. So let me explain. You have a little piece of your brain called the amygdala. It is the threat center of your brain. Its job, keep you alive. So if there is a threat, if you're walking in the forest and you see a bear, it triggers threat. Run for your life. Very helpful. Good job, amygdala. You kept us alive. The problem is that when your kids are home, every time they need a piece of your energy, your amygdala still registers it as a threat. So enter summer vacation and guess what? Threat, 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 threat. long, 24/7, no break, no breathing, no recharge. And so what happens is your system goes into hyperarousal. It goes into hyperdrive. And you go from being super keyed up, super fight or flight. I got to handle everything. I got to make sure I'm focused. I got to be the mom I need to be. I need to manage all the schedules. That works for a little while until your system then goes to the opposite, freeze or fawn. Now, here in freeze fawn, what happens is your system says, we can't manage all this. We don't have the energy to manage all this. And we're starting to feel a lot of stress. We're starting to not breathe so well because, hello, it's just shallow. We're just doing all the things, right? And so what happens is instead of being in that fight or flight zone, you then flip all the way to freeze and fawn. And what happens then is your brain says, we just got to recharge. So you start to disconnect a little bit from your kids. Here's where the trouble comes is summer break comes and you have all of these great plans. Hey, let's go on this nature walk. But you look at your phone and you see, oh, today's the nature walk. And then what happens? Your heart starts beating just a little bit faster and your breath gets just a little more shallow. Those muscles in your shoulders tense up and your brain starts calculating what is required to pull off that outing. First, I got to get them to do their chores. They're going to argue. They're not going to want to do them. They're going to drag their feet. I am going to keep nagging. I'm going to be like, it's going to be too late in the day. We're not going to have time. By the time we get out the door, I'm going to feel like a grouchy mom. And then when we get there, what if someone is like, are we almost done? I want to go hang out with my friends. Then I'm going to feel like they don't appreciate me. Then I'm going to feel like a guilty mom for feeling that. And you know what? It might be easier for me to just let them go hang out with their friends today, or I'll just pretend I don't know they're on their screens and I'll just keep doing my thing. So the day goes past, the activity doesn't happen, and then for the rest of the day, you end up feeling like a bad mom because you didn't do what you planned to do. And at the end of the break or the end of the summer, you have regrets for the memories that were never made. So here's what you need to know about what's happening. That should factory in your brain, the amygdala, all that happening, the reason it's happening is it's trying to keep you alive. It's trying to preserve your memory or your energy. And that should factory is going all the time. It never stops. And so the thing about the should factory is the should factory acts like it's trying to make you be a better mom. Hey, if you want to be a good mom, you got to make these memories. If you want to be a good mom, you got to get your kids off screens. Well, there's some truth there, but here's the bigger truth. The should factory doesn't make better moms. It makes exhausted ones. And exhausted moms, they don't make memories with their kids. They just survive from day to day. Trust me, been there, bought the t-shirt, right? And so here's what you want to do this summer. As you're getting ready for summer break and as you're getting ready to make those memories with your kids, you're going to think about all the things you need to prepare. You're going to think about, how do I get my kids to not be on screens all the time? How do I get them to get their chores done so that we don't spend all day doing that? How do I get them to get along? All those things are real and all of those things are worth addressing. But if you don't address this number one thing, nothing else will matter. The should factory cannot drive you into exhaustion every day. And if it does, none of those memories will ever happen. So here's what I want to challenge you to do today. As you go throughout the day, just notice when that should factory is cranking out that mom guilt. Notice what you're thinking to yourself. I should really do something about my kids being on the screens, or I should have this figured out by now, or I really should not be raising my voice at my kids. You don't have to try to not think the things. All I want you to do is to notice it. Awareness is the first step in any journey. Now, if that is something you want to go deep into and really get rid of that shit factory in your life so that you can live in a place where you're able to say yes to making memories with your kids more often, that is exactly what we're doing in the Inner Strength Circle this month. Each week we meet together as moms and we talk about things that help us and our kids move forward. We're going to talk about not only the should factory, but how do you build that structure for yourself and for your kids so that you can stay in a place where it's so much easier to say yes to those adventures, to those memories, to being present with your kids. We're also going to talk about how to help do that for your kids so they're not fighting with each other all summer and they are in a place where they can have peace as well. So if that's something that would be helpful for you, I'll put the link in the description. Be sure to check it out. But this week, just notice those shoulds. What is your brain telling you? What is draining your energy? And if draining your energy is a thing for you, if you're feeling like exhaustion is one of your main enemies, I'll also drop a link in the description for my free Mom League checklist. It's a checklist that will help you find the real leaks, not the things you think are draining your energy, but those silent things that run below the surface that actually make you so tired. So check it out. Takes 2 minutes. I think you'll be surprised that it gives you some real insight into what is actually causing that exhaustion. Your kids don't need a perfect mom. They actually just need a regulated one that can be present and one that has the mental and emotional space to say yes in those moments where fun and memories can happen. If this video helped you feel a little less alone, please do subscribe because each week I'll be sharing tools with you that help you find your center so your kids can find theirs.